Did you know there's a town in Australia with less than 100 people that literally breaks time itself, operating on a 45-minute offset that exists nowhere else on Earth? Or that there's a road so impossibly straight, it stretches 147 kilometers without a single curve, causing drivers to hallucinate from highway hypnosis? And wait until you hear about the secret underground ocean that covers 22% of the entire continent, hidden beneath the world's driest land. I'm about to blow your mind with 50 Australian geography facts so insane, you'll question everything you thought you knew about the land down under. Fact 1. The Great Barrier Reef. Starting with Australia's crown jewel, the Great Barrier Reef stretches 2,300 kilometers with 3,000 individual reefs and 900 islands, making it so massive that astronauts can see it from space. To put that in perspective, if the Great Barrier Reef was a country, it would be larger than the United Kingdom. This living masterpiece is home to more marine species than anywhere else on Earth, creating an underwater metropolis of unprecedented scale. Fact 2. Australia's endless coastline. When it comes to coastlines, Australia doesn't mess around. Including all its islands, the coastline stretches an incredible 59,736 kilometers. That's long enough to circle the entire Earth 1.5 times. Imagine trying to walk that distance. It would take you over 3 years of non-stop walking. No wonder Australians are obsessed with beach culture. With a coastline this epic, who wouldn't be drawn to the waves? Fact 3. Coast-hugging population. Ever wondered why every Australian seems beach-ready? The answer lies in demographics. 87% of all Australians live within just 50 kilometers of the coast, making it one of the most coast-concentrated populations on the entire planet. The vast interior might be calling, but Australians clearly prefer their ocean views and salty sea breeze to the rugged outback. It's a continental case of coastal magnetism. Fact 4. K'gari, the Sand Island Giant. Meet K'gari, formerly known as Fraser Island, UNESCO's officially recognized world's largest sand island, stretching approximately 122 kilometers in length. But this isn't just any ordinary sand formation. This island hosts pristine lakes, ancient rainforests, and towering dunes, all sitting on what's essentially a massive pile of sand that's been accumulating for over 700,000 years. Think of it as nature's ultimate sandbox project. Fact 5. Lake Hillier's Pink Mystery. Lake Hillier in Western Australia challenges everything you think you know about watercolor. This lake is naturally bubblegum pink all year round, and no, it's not a filter or artificial coloring. The stunning pink hue comes from special microbes and the lake's unique salinity levels. Scientists are still studying this natural phenomenon. Picture stumbling upon this cotton candy-colored lake in the middle of nowhere. It's like discovering a real-life fairy tale. Fact 30. The Great Artesian Basin. The Great Artesian Basin underlies approximately 22% of Australia, making it one of the world's largest underground aquifer systems. This hidden water source feeds remote springs across the Outback and has sustained life in the desert for millions of years. Imagine beneath the world's driest continent lies one of the world's largest water reserves. It's nature's ultimate insurance policy for survival. Fact 6. Hutt Lagoon's social media fame. Continuing our Pink Lake tour, Hutt Lagoon in Western Australia turns such a vivid pink that it's become an absolute social media sensation. Photographers and influencers travel thousands of miles just to capture this bubblegum lake phenomenon. The intense pink color shifts throughout the day, creating an ever-changing natural art gallery. Mother Nature was clearly Instagram-ready long before social media even existed, creating the perfect backdrop for content creators worldwide. Fact 7. The Dingo Fence Spectacle. Australia's Dingo Fence stretches an incredible 5,600 kilometers across the continent. That's one of the longest man-made structures on Earth. And yes, it's actually visible in satellite imagery from space. Originally built to keep dingoes away from sheep, This fence is longer than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. The logistics of maintaining something this massive across such remote terrain must be absolutely mind-boggling for the crews responsible. Fact 8. The Nullarbor Plain Wonder. Welcome to one of Earth's most unique geological features. The Nullarbor Plain, the world's largest single piece of limestone, creating a vast, completely treeless landscape that stretches endlessly toward the horizon. Nullarbor literally means no trees in Latin, and when you're standing in the middle of this limestone karst, you'll understand why early explorers felt like they'd reached the edge of the world itself. Fact 9. The 90-mile straight road. Road trip enthusiasts, meet your ultimate challenge. The 90-mile straight on the Eyre Highway holds the record as Australia's longest perfectly straight road segment, stretching 146.6 kilometers without a single curve. That's nearly 3 hours of driving in a completely straight line. The concentration required is legendary. Some travelers report highway hypnosis from the sheer straightness of this transcontinental route. Fact 10. Record-breaking railway. For train lovers, Australia delivers something special. The Trans-Australian Railway boasts the world's longest straight railway track, running for an incredible 478 kilometers without a single bend or curve. Passengers literally travel in a perfectly straight line for hours, watching the landscape change while never turning left or right. It's like riding a train through a mathematical equation, pure geometric perfection cutting through the wilderness. Fact 11. Lake Eyre's extremes. Down in the heart of Australia sits Kati Thanda Lake Eyre, the continent's lowest natural point at 15 meters below sea level. Most of the time, it's a blindingly white salt pan, but when rare floods occur, it transforms into Australia's largest lake. The contrast is absolutely stunning, from a desert wasteland to a temporary inland sea that can be larger than some entire countries. It's nature's ultimate disappearing act, performed on a continental scale. Fact 12. Lake Eyre's 2025 spectacle. In May 2025, something extraordinary happened that broke the internet. Rare floodwaters dramatically filled Lake Eyre, creating a massive temporary inland sea that had social media buzzing worldwide. Satellite images showed this incredible transformation, as the desert floor became a vast lake almost overnight. Thousands of birds flocked to this sudden oasis, creating one of nature's most spectacular and unpredictable shows. Fact 13. Eucla's quirky time zone. Time zones get weird in Australia, and nowhere is this more apparent than around Eucla. A tiny sliver of Western Australia operates on one of Earth's most unusual time zones. UTC plus 8:45. That's right, they're 45 minutes ahead of the rest of Western Australia and 45 minutes behind South Australia. Scheduling a meeting across this region requires serious mental math. You'd practically need a calculator just to figure out what time it is. Fact 14. Lord Howe Island's unique time. If you think Eucla's time zone is confusing, Lord Howe Island takes weirdness to the next level. It operates at UTC plus 10:30 normally, but during daylight saving time, it only moves forward by 30 minutes instead of a full hour, creating the world's only UTC plus 11, with a 30-minute DST offset. International phone calls from this island must be an absolute scheduling nightmare. But what a unique claim to fame for such a small place. Fact 15. Rowley Shoals climate story. The Rowley Shoals in Western Australia represent both beauty and environmental challenge. These spectacular coral atolls unfortunately became a climate change headline in 2025 when they suffered severe bleaching events. These remote atolls are emerging as a critical hotspot for understanding how coral reefs respond to warming oceans. Despite the environmental challenges, they remain some of the most pristine and beautiful reef systems on Earth, a bittersweet reminder of our changing planet. Fact 16. Darby's massive tides. Along Australia's northwest coast, Darby and King Sound experiences the continent's most extreme tides, with peaks reaching close to 11 meters. To put that in perspective, that's like a 3-story building worth of water, rising and falling twice a day. These massive tidal movements create dramatic mudflats that stretch for kilometers, transforming the entire landscape every 6 hours. Beach planning around those conditions requires some serious tide chart consultation. Fact 17. The Horizontal Falls Wonder. In the Kimberley region, nature performs one of its most bizarre spectacles. The horizontal falls are tidal waterfalls that actually reverse direction with every tide. Massive ocean currents squeeze through 2 narrow gaps in the rocks, creating waterfalls that flow horizontally instead of vertically. David Attenborough called it one of the greatest natural wonders of the world. And when you see the footage, his enthusiasm becomes completely understandable. Fact 18. Bunda Cliffs' epic scale. The Great Australian Bights Bunda Cliffs form one of the world's longest, uninterrupted sea cliff lines, stretching endlessly along the southern coast like nature's own Great Wall. These limestone cliffs rise dramatically from the Southern Ocean, creating a vertical barrier that seems to go on forever. Standing on these cliffs gives you the sensation of being at the very edge of the world, which, geographically speaking, you practically are. Fact 19. Australia's dry dominance. Among all inhabited continents, Australia holds the title as the world's driest. Yes, Antarctica is technically drier, but nobody permanently lives there. Australia's landscape is dominated by arid and semi-arid zones, making it a continental-scale experiment in desert survival. Yet somehow 25 million people call this dry land home, and many of them live right next to the ocean, creating an interesting contrast between coastal abundance and interior scarcity. Fact 20. The Great Dividing Range. Running 3,500 kilometers down Australia's eastern coast, the Great Dividing Range stands as one of the world's longest land-based mountain chains. This geological backbone doesn't just divide the continent physically, it literally shapes the weather, rivers, and climate of eastern Australia. Without this range, the entire east coast would be a very different place. Think of it as nature's own continental spine, determining where rain falls and rivers flow. Fact 21. Mount Kosciuszko's heights. Mount Kosciuszko stands proudly at 2,228 meters as mainland Australia's highest peak. And here's something that surprises many visitors. It's often snow-capped during winter. Named after a Polish hero, this mountain anchors the Australian Alps, a region that receives more snowfall than many people realize. You can literally ski in Australia. The contrast between snow-capped peaks and nearby beaches is absolutely mind-blowing. Fact 22. Murray-Darling Basin's scale. The Murray-Darling Basin drains approximately 1/7 of the entire Australian continent, with the Murray River being Australia's longest continuous river system. This massive river network is Australia's agricultural heartland, supporting everything from wheat fields to vineyards. The scale is staggering. This single river system influences weather patterns, wildlife, and human settlement across multiple states. It's literally the lifeline of a continent. Fact 23. Lake Eyre's water source. Here's the fascinating hydrology behind Lake Eyre. It fills mainly through Queensland's Channel Country via the Cooper, Diamantina, and Georgina rivers, then slowly evaporates back into the desert air. This process can take years to complete, making each filling a rare and precious event. The water travels over 1,000 kilometers through some of Australia's most remote territory to reach this inland sea, nature's own transcontinental plumbing system. Fact 24. Shark Bay's ancient life. Shark Bay in Western Australia hosts living stromatolites, Earth's oldest style reef builders that offer us a window into ancient biospheres from billions of years ago. These microbial mats are literally living fossils, showing us what life on Earth looked like when the planet was young. Walking among stromatolites is like taking a time machine back 3.5 billion years. It's humbling to touch something so ancient yet still alive. Fact 25. Daintree's ancient heritage. The Daintree rainforest in Queensland is often called the world's oldest tropical rainforest, with Gondwanan lineages that actually predate the Amazon. This prehistoric ecosystem has survived ice ages, continental drift, and climate changes that wiped out dinosaurs. Walking through the Daintree is literally like stepping into a lost world. Many of its plants haven't changed in millions of years. Evolution's greatest museum piece. Fact 26. Australia's continental drift. Hold onto your hats, Australia is moving. The continent sits on the Indo-Australian plate and races northeast at 6 to 7 centimeters per year, which is actually faster than most continents move. That's faster than your fingernails grow. Over millions of years, Australia is slowly closing the gap with Asia. GPS systems have to be constantly updated to account for this continental sprint. Australia is literally chasing the equator. Fact 27. Simpson Desert's sand dunes. The Simpson Desert contains some of the world's longest parallel sand dunes, with some dune fields stretching over 1,100 kilometers in perfectly straight lines. These dunes are so geometrically perfect that they look artificial from satellite images. The parallel formation is created by consistent wind patterns over thousands of years. It's like nature used a giant ruler to organize the desert into the world's largest sand sculpture. Fact 28. Great Victoria Desert's vastness. The Great Victoria Desert is Australia's largest desert, spanning Western Australia and South Australia across more than 348,000 square kilometers. That's larger than Germany, and it's filled with salt lakes, granite outcrops, and scrubland that stretches beyond the horizon. Despite its harsh conditions, this desert supports unique ecosystems and Aboriginal communities who have thrived here for thousands of years. Survival skills at their finest. Fact 29. Beyond the Great Barrier Reef. Australia's coral reefs extend far beyond the famous Great Barrier Reef. Ningaloo Reef in Western Australia is a spectacular fringing reef where whale sharks cruise close to shore, allowing snorkelers to swim alongside the world's largest fish. While the Great Barrier Reef gets all the attention, Ningaloo offers equally stunning coral gardens with easier access and smaller crowds. It's like discovering a hidden tropical paradise. Fact 31. Blue Mountains Sandstone Wonders. The Blue Mountains near Sydney feature spectacular sandstone plateaus and slot canyons that form part of a vast World Heritage Area. These ancient sandstone formations create dramatic cliff lines, hidden valleys, and narrow canyons that have been carved by water over millions of years. The blue haze that gives the mountains their name comes from eucalyptus oil evaporating from the forest canopy. It's geology meets aromatherapy. Fact 32. The 12 Apostles' evolution. The 12 apostles along Victoria's coast are limestone stacks standing on a rapidly retreating coastline where new stacks can form as old ones collapse into the Southern Ocean. These iconic formations are constantly changing. What you see today will be different in decades to come. It's evolution in action, with the ocean sculpting new landmarks while claiming others. Nature's most dynamic art gallery. Fact 33. Cape York's geographic significance. Cape York's northernmost tip sits just 150 kilometers from Papua New Guinea, making it the meeting point where Australian and Asia-Pacific cultures converge across the Torres Strait. This narrow water gap has allowed cultural exchange for thousands of years while maintaining distinct identities on each side. Standing at Cape York, you're literally at the crossroads of two continental cultures, with Papua New Guinea visible on clear days. Fact 34. Arnhem Land's seasonal transformation. Arnhem Land and Kakadu blend monsoon, floodplains, ancient stone country, and billabongs that undergo vast seasonal transformations throughout the year. During the wet season, vast areas become inland seas, while the dry season reveals intricate networks of waterholes and rocky escarpments. It's like watching the same landscape perform a completely different act every 6 months. Nature's own seasonal theater. Fact 35. Tasmania's diverse geography. Tasmania packs alpine peaks, glacial lakes, and incredibly, the world's southernmost warm water coral reefs into its compact island form. This island state contains more geological diversity per square kilometer than almost anywhere on Earth. You can literally experience 4 different climate zones in a single day's drive. Fact 36. Bungle Bungle's Beehive Domes. The Bungle Bungle Range in Pernalulu National Park displays striking beehive-shaped domes made of banded sandstone that has been sculpted by seasonal rains over millions of years. These orange and black striped formations look almost artificial, like someone painted zebra stripes on a massive rocks. The geometric perfection of these natural sculptures seems impossible, yet here they stand, defying expectations in the remote Kimberley region. Fact 37. Wave Rock's perfect form. Wave Rock near Hayden in Western Australia is a 110-meter-long granite Inselberg face that has been eroded into a perfect stone wave, complete with streaks that look exactly like flowing water. This geological masterpiece took millions of years to create, yet it looks like it was carved by an artist yesterday. Standing beneath this frozen wave, you'll swear you can hear the ocean that was never there. Fact 38. Uluru and Kata Chuta's Majesty. Uluru rises an impressive 348 meters above the surrounding plain, while nearby Kata Chuta consists of multiple massive domes. Both are sacred sandstone monoliths that seem to emerge from the earth like sleeping giants. These formations are not just rocks. They're spiritual centers, geological wonders, and cultural landmarks all rolled into one. Their presence transforms the entire landscape, creating an almost mystical atmosphere in the heart of the continent. Fact 39. Mount Augustus versus Uluru debate. Mount Augustus, also known as Burungurra in Western Australia, is often cited as larger in bulk than the famous Uluru, sparking endless biggest rock debates across online forums. While Uluru gets the fame, Mount Augustus might actually be the real champion. This ongoing geographic rivalry has Australians passionately defending their preferred massive rock. Who knew geology could be so competitive? The debate continues to rage. Fact 40. Australia's underground labyrinths. Australia's longest cave systems wind through the limestone regions of the Nullarbor Plain and eastern karsts, creating thousands of mapped underground passages that form some of the world's most extensive subterranean networks. These hidden worlds contain underground rivers, massive chambers, and formations that have never seen sunlight. Imagine entire cities' worth of space existing beneath your feet. It's like discovering secret levels in the landscape. Fact 41. Kangaroo Island's natural treasures. Kangaroo Island operates like a natural zoo without fences, where echidnas, kangaroos, and koalas roam freely across landscapes that change from pristine beaches to dense forest within kilometers. It's conservation and natural beauty working in perfect harmony. Fact 42. Great Ocean Road's dual purpose. The Great Ocean Road serves as both a spectacular coastal highway and a World War I memorial, carved by returned soldiers honoring fallen comrades. Driving this road is simultaneously a scenic journey and a moving memorial experience. Fact 43. The Pinnacle's alien landscape. The Pinnacles consist of thousands of limestone spires rising from golden dunes, creating an otherworldly desert shaped by ancient sea life. Walking among them feels like exploring a massive outdoor sculpture garden designed by extraterrestrial artists. Fact 44. Australian Alps surprising snow. The Australian Alps receive more annual snowfall than expected, with thriving ski industries challenging desert continent stereotypes. You can ski in Australia while beach weather exists just hours away. Incredible geographic diversity. Fact 45. Salt Lake mirrors. South Australian salt lakes create blindingly white pans that transform into perfect mirror reflections after rare rainfall. These temporary mirrors reflect sky so perfectly that visitors experience vertigo. Nature's own infinity pools. Fact 46. Perth's splendid isolation. Perth is one of the world's most isolated major cities, closer to Jakarta than Sydney. This isolation has created unique culture with residents feeling more connected to Southeast Asia. Fact 47. The Great Southern Reef. The Great Southern Reef wraps around southern Australia, creating massive underwater kelp forests, supporting unique marine life. These cold water reefs rival any terrestrial ecosystem in complexity, Australia's best-kept aquatic secret. Fact 48. Great Sandy Strait's complexity. The Great Sandy Strait creates a complex maze of seagrass beds, mangroves, and tidal channels between Kagari and mainland. Navigating these channels is like nature's own water-based puzzle that changes with every tide. Fact 49. Montgomery Reef's Tidal Theater. Montgomery Reef performs nature's most spectacular daily show. At low tide, reef tops rise, creating waterfalls cascading off edges. It's like watching the ocean breathe, transforming the seascape every 6 hours. Fact 50. Australia's changing coastline. Australia's dynamic coastline constantly changes, with satellites tracking erosion and accretion hotspots across the continent in real time. The data shows Australia's geography literally transforming, the continent writing its continuing story in sand and stone. And there you have it, 50 mind-blowing geography facts proving Australia is a living geographic wonderland that constantly surprises even scientists. Which fact completely shocked you most? The pink lakes or those backwards waterfalls? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this changed how you see Australia forever, smash that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing geography content. Trust me, if you think Australia is wild, wait until you see what other countries are hiding. Until next time, keep exploring.